Hello again, we are back. This is now scenario 7 of the Chain of Command Malaya 1942 campaign. I thought it would have ended with the last one. The Japanese have got to win this scenario to end the campaign, or it plays out to 10 scenarios. So the Japanese are fighting again over the same table that they did in the last one, scenario 6, where they were beaten. They've got to win this game to finish the campaign and to get through to Singapore. So hopefully this time they can actually break through the Australians' lines. You've seen this table before, but I will show it to you again. I'll show you the forces that are in that are on the table as well, and we'll go from there. As before, this table is the important river crossing down here that the Japanese have got to capture. The attack on an objective just behind this little village, the Malay village here, on the edge of the jungle. They failed to do it last time. The Australians, against all the odds, actually beat them and kept them at bay. The Australians, speaking of which, they have their jumping off points. They've got one here behind the meeting place. They've got another one here and also one here, and then they ended up with one right on the very edge of the board as well back here. So they're a bit more spread out than they were before. The Japanese, on the other hand, they've got one over here in the jungle edge. They also have this one here, which they moved forward with their ruse. So this is again right on top of the village. They have another one here on this jungle edge, and then their final one is also over here on this jungle edge as well. So relatively similar to last time. Using the knowledge from last time, the Japanese are really going to have to push hard to get in to this objective and close down those jumping off points and destroy the Australians' morale before theirs collapses again. But let's have a look at the forces that are involved, and then again we'll crack on with this game. So yet again the Japanese have opted to put in a fresh platoon. So this guys, completely fresh and new. They've also paid for a Hago. However, they couldn't afford the bombardment because they wanted the ruse instead, so they've got no bombardment this time, just the tank and the ruse. The Australians, on the other hand, they were able to pay for, well, they had what remained from the last time. I've just taken out the casualties that occurred on the older sections. They've got their new lieutenant, or now not so new, veteran, and they've also paid for a second unit to come in as well, a third section, should I say. So they're back up to their original size that they were in the previous game. However, they were unable to pay for a boys anti-tank rifle, so they've only got the one that is attached to their section, their platoon anyway. So let's, for no further ado, let's crack on with this game and see what happens. So I've rolled for the morale. The Japanese are starting with 8. The Australians are starting on 9. So they're obviously buoyed up by their previous win. The Japanese are obviously taking a bit of a hit for it, but let's see what their command dice are. Let's re-roll that because it's cocked. So we've got 2 chain of command points, a senior leader, a section, and a 6 does nothing. So immediately the Japanese have brought on their sergeant. He's leading from the front. He's brought on a section with him. They've used the ruse, their jumping off point, to immediately jump onto and capture the first Australian jumping off point. So they're already being incredibly aggressive, even with just the one section. A great start to their first move. And Australians, oh, that is a good spread. So they've got senior commander, junior leader, a section, a section, a section. So that is pretty much everything on the table almost immediately. Right, the Australians have literally brought on everything that they could, and they've just gone straight into the attack with the Japanese. This is literally the best thing they could do at this point. It's either that or sit in these buildings cowering. What they want to do is try to wipe out this section, kill that leader, and then, you know, try to destroy the Japanese morale from the start. This is desperate situations. They've got to try to do everything they can to win. I've totted it up. The Australians in total have got 30 men in this fight. The Japanese have got 15. This means the Australians are ending up rolling 44 dice. 5s and 6s kill, with a 6 causing shock. The Japanese will be rolling 38 in the first round because they've got LMGs and they're also in light cover as well behind these boards. So we'll start. There's 30 dice here that I've got, so I'm going to roll these for the Australians first of all, and then roll another 14 on top of that. So let's just get these ones rolled first of all. We'll see what we get. 5s and 6s kill. Pretty simple stuff. So let's get all the kills out. Put those together, and then we can roll the rest. Let's see how many. Once we reach 15 casualties, we're pretty much done anyway. The junior leader and the senior leader may survive, so we've got to see how many actual casualties we cause, because they will take wounds. So that's the first ones. Just check there's no more, and then roll another 14. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So let's have a look at that. We'll see what this lot gets, and then we'll separate these into our 5s and 6s. So that's only another 2 on top of that. Maybe this gamble didn't pay off. That wasn't a 5, so we'll just get rid of those. Let's see what we've got. I don't think there's going to be 15 casualties in there. We've got 1, 2. These are the shock. Put the shock together and put the kills together as well. So, sorry, these are the shocks with 6. So they've taken 5 shock, 10, 12 kills. 2 of those are going to at least be on the leaders. So we'll roll for those separately, and we'll see what happens with those. They also then take 5 shock as well on top of all of that. So we'll put that on while we remember. We're going to keep account of how many the Australians have killed as well, because the Japanese are going to do the same back to them. So what do we say we've got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 for the Japanese. So I'll just make a note of that. So we've got 12 dead for the Japanese, and we'll come back and we'll sort those out. As I say, there's 2 of those are going to be the leaders. So now we need to work out the Japanese. They're rolling 38 dice. So again, we've got 30 here, then we'll roll another 8. This is in the first round. This will reduce. So let's again pluck out all the hits. These are going to be spread equally across all the teams in the game once we've worked them out. Well, this is not looking great for the Australians. Maybe it was a bit of a gamble, but at this point, what else could they do, really? So that's everything there. So then there's another 8 going to be rolled now. If they survive this through to the next round, they may well fight again anyway, and then they will definitely outnumber the Japanese, I would think. Well, let's see. Well, we'll see. So that's another 2 kills there. Right, so now we need to work out their shock. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 kills. And how many shock? So that's going to be spread across the whole lot, and there are again 4 leaders in there, so they are also going to be taking hits. So we're going to roll for all of those as well, and they are taking 2, 4, 6, 8 shock as well on top of that. We said 16 kills. Am I right? Yeah, 16. So again, let me just make a note of that on their side. So that's the difference. The Australians, as I say, have got 8 shock. They are defeated by 2 and are thrown back 9 inches with 1 point of shock on each of the teams as well. So that's going to be another 3 points of shock. Well, no, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more shock on top of what they already have. There will be 3 shock. Now, there's how many teams are in there? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams in there. So this has to be split between 6 teams. So they will take that shock, and then hang on, I'm not thinking straight here. It's going to be 1 shock on each of the teams, and then 2 left over, and then each of the teams will also take another shock. So 2 of the teams are going to take 3 shock. The other 4 teams are going to take 2 shock each. They all get thrown back 9 inches. Now we've got a dice for the leaders in all of it. So let's have a look. We'll start with the Japanese. We've got a junior leader, first of all. Just a roll of the dice. We'll see. 1, he's killed outright. So that is a bad things happen for the Japanese. Their senior leader, he is lightly wounded. So he loses 1 of his activations. So that's another roll on the bad things happen straight away. So now we've got to work our way through the Australians. So we've got this guy here, first of all. 2, he is lightly wounded. So we'll just get these in so we can remember what we've got. The next one over here, he is also lightly wounded. So at least they're surviving. Let's chuck them on there. The last one on the end, he is 2, so he is wounded till the end of the turn, I think. So that's him there. And then our lieutenant, 6, he is also lightly wounded. So at least they've survived, but they're thrown back with most of their infantry taken off. So I'll just take those off and reset up. Before I do this, I've got the Japanese senior leaders wounded, and also the junior leader killed as well. So we'll do the junior leader first of all, -1 for the Japanese. So that's a 4, so that's 2 points off their force morale. And then for their senior leader being wounded, again -1, 5 becomes 4. That's 3 points off their force morale. So they're straight down to 5, 1, 2, which is reasonable. And then we've got 3 wounded leaders for the Australians. So let's see what happens with them. These are just rolls. So these are junior leader wounded. 1 or a 2 is nothing. A 4 is -1 point, and a 6 is -2 points. So in total, that's 3 points off. And then their leader wounded, senior leader wounded. So we're on 3 points off, 4 points off their morale. So both have taken quite a battering on their morale straight away. I just realised that the Australians had actually had all of their LMG teams wiped out, so I rolled for their morale as well, their force morale, and that dropped them down another point. They were thrown back across the river. The Japanese held the position, so it's a Japanese turn now. Let's see what they do. 2 6s. A 5 on its own gives them a chain of command points, and then they have a 2 and a 1, so that is a junior leader or a team and a section. The Japanese have deployed with a junior leader, their section here, so he's come on. He's then ordering them to fire the Australians here over the river. They're all within 4 inches of each other, so they're all going to be part of this fire anyway. So we'll do this. They're in the open, there's no cover. 4 5s and 6s to hit, and then 5 6s to kill. So let's just see what we've got here. Remove all the misses. So we've got 2 4 6 8 9 hits all along that line. There are 3 sections, 3 individual teams, so each one is going to take 3 hits each. And there's also officers and things mixed in here as well. So we'll see if we get any kills, how many of those may affect these officers. So the first group over here, that is no kills but 2 shock. So they are yet to be pinned. There's 5 in that team. So this next one here, they have 2 kills and no shock. Again, there are 2 officers here, so let's roll for them. So first of all, junior leader, 1 or a 2. He's hit, he's already wounded, so he's dead. The second round of firing hits the senior officer, so he is hit and killed. So this is the Australians' bad things happen table going to be rolled on. We'll do that in a second. And then over here, finally, there's a junior leader in there as well, so that's 3 kills. And he is automatically wounded. And let's just see if he is hit actually. 1 to 3 he is. Yes, he's hit as well, so that's all 3 of those killed as well. So that is a team destroyed. 2 junior leaders killed, and a senior leader killed as well. So this is going to hit the Australians pretty hard. I think this might be a very short game. Right, let's go with the junior leader killed first of all. 4, so that's -2 points. Let's keep a tot of this. The second junior leader killed. That's 2, so that is 1 point. So that takes it up to 3. Senior leader killed. That's a 3, so that is another 2 points off. So that's on 5 now. This, I think, their morale has just collapsed. That's just gone to 0. Let's just do it. The team is wiped out, or section wiped out actually at this point. 5. That's another 2 points. That is 7. That is enough. The Japanese have won this in 2 rounds. After that incredible Australian attack. So yeah, they wiped out the Australians almost immediately. And there it is, the final. The Japanese have won. They've won the campaign. They've got down to the crossing. They've pushed through. I mean, it was helped the fact that they could just keep putting their new units in, but they've absolutely smashed the Australians, killed the lieutenants, killed all the original officers. It's just absolute massacre. Over in what, 2 or 3 moves? That what a game! But that was a great end to what has been a great campaign. I hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as I've enjoyed playing it. Sorry, this is an incredibly short video, but there we go. That's the Fortunes of War. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. There'll be more campaigns from Chain of Command in the future. Thanks again for watching.